On a bright, ordinary morning, the kind where sunlight seems to wash the world clean, a young woman named Marin sat on the cold stone steps of St. Alden's Church, trembling beneath a thin, worn sweater. To the people passing by, she looked like just another shadow in daylight, knees pulled to her chest, hair tangled by the wind, eyes staring at the ground as if afraid to look up at a world that had stopped looking back. She felt invisible, forgotten, and hollowed out by the exhaustion of too many nights without a bed and too many days without hope. And yet on that morning, when she felt her lowest, life was quietly preparing to shift under her feet. It would happen not through money, miracles, or grand gestures, but through a tiny voice, a pair of small hands, and a sentence that broke through her darkness like the sun breaking through clouds. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of one small act to change a life, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Kindness. Your support keeps these heartfelt stories alive. Marin's life had not always been this fragile. A year earlier, she was a diligent student at a community college, working evenings at a cafe and caring for her grandmother, the last family she had left. But when illness took her grandmother and bills fell like dominoes, Marin's world caved in. Her job couldn't cover rent, her classes slipped away one missed payment at a time, and before she fully understood how fast life could unravel, she was packing her belongings into 2 bags and stepping into the street with nowhere to go. She drifted for weeks, sometimes sleeping at shelters, sometimes not. She kept trying to find work, but without an address, a phone, or clean clothes, interview after interview slipped through her fingers. Each rejection chipped a little more from the belief that she might climb out of this. That morning at St. Alden's, she wasn't even sure why she'd stopped there. Maybe because churches felt safe. Maybe because the sunlight warmed the stone steps, and she needed warmth. Or maybe because some part of her knew she couldn't carry her sadness much longer. The world moved around her, cars humming, footsteps tapping, conversations drifting, and she felt like she was fading, blending into the background like she wasn't really there. Then a small shadow paused in front of her. Marin didn't notice at first. She thought it was just someone passing by. But the shadow stayed. When she lifted her head, her vision blurry from fatigue, she saw a little girl, maybe 6 years old, wearing a yellow sundress and holding a crumpled drawing in one hand. Her curly black hair bounced as she leaned forward, her eyes warm with a gentleness too pure for the world Marin knew. "I think you need a hug," the girl said, her voice soft but certain. Marin froze. Emotions flooded her, embarrassment, surprise, confusion, and something she had not felt in a long time, tenderness. Before she could react, the little girl wrapped her arms around Marin, small but steady, as if she had been waiting all morning just to do that. Marin's breath broke. The hug melted her defenses like they were made of sand. She had gone so long without being held, without anyone caring whether she existed. She felt her eyes swell, tears slipping down across her cheeks before she could stop them. I'm okay," Marin tried to whisper, though her voice crumbled halfway. "You didn't look okay," the girl replied simply, pulling back just enough to hand her the drawing. It showed a bright sun, a tall church, and a stick figure standing at the top of the stairs with a smile so wide it stretched across the page. "Mom says if someone looks sad, you help them feel better. That's what kindness is." Marin held the drawing to her chest. For the first time in months, her heart felt like it was trying to beat again, like it remembered how. A woman approached, likely the girl's mother, her expression apologetic but kind. Instead of pulling her daughter away, she knelt beside Marin. "I'm sorry if she overwhelmed you," the mother said. "Her name is Ayla. She has a big heart. Sometimes bigger than her understanding of boundaries." "She didn't overwhelm me," Marin said, wiping her eyes. She saved me." The mother's eyes softened. Without asking invasive questions, without a trace of judgment, she slid a small paper bag toward Marin. "There's a sandwich, some fruit, and water in there," she said. "And if you'd like, the church has a daytime outreach program inside today. You'd be welcome." Marin hesitated. Kindness had always felt like something that skipped her. But Ayla slipped her hand into Marin's, her tiny fingers warm and certain. "Come on," Ayla said. "I'll show you." And so Marin stood. Her legs trembled, not from fear this time, but from the unfamiliar sensation of hope stirring deep inside her. Inside the church, Volunteers welcomed her like she had been expected. They gave her clean clothes, let her wash up, helped her fill out forms for a temporary housing program, and even connected her with a community job board. It was overwhelming, but in the best way. She felt like she had stepped out of a storm and into a quiet room where she could finally breathe. Hours passed. When she stepped outside again, brighter and cleaner than she had been in months, Ayla was drawing on the ground with chalk. She ran over, handed Marin a new drawing, this one of two stick figures holding hands under a big, warm sun, and whispered, "You can get better. You can." The days that followed changed everything. The outreach program helped Marin secure a place in a women's shelter. The shelter helped her get a job interview at a bakery. The bakery hired her after the manager noticed her steady hands and gentle nature. For the first time in a long time, she bought herself warm meals, slept in a real bed, and earned enough to start saving again. Life didn't magically become perfect, but it finally felt possible. Weeks later, Marin returned to St. Alden's, now wearing a crisp apron from work and holding a small bag of pastries she'd made herself. She found Ayla and her mother sitting near the steps again. Without waiting, Ayla sprinted into her arms. "I knew you'd get better," she said proudly. "You helped me more than you know," Marin whispered, hugging her tight. Near the end of their visit, as Marin walked away, the sunlight caught on the drawing Ayla had given her. She kept it in her pocket every day, a reminder that even the smallest act could save someone on the brink of giving up.